Hi kids! Welcome to Meditation 50 of the Dudeist and Taoist Te Ching. I wore my certificate of ordination hat, which is very old and faded, but I know what it says. Because today's meditation comes to you from Bunkers Memorial Cemetery again. This meditation, for those of you taking notes and thinking about becoming a Dudeist Priest and doing funerals and weddings, Meditation 50 is well suited for funerals. And that's because in 1916, Dwight Goddard titled this meditation, Invulnerable. What's that got to do with death, Neil? Well, you'll see. Do you like the Chapel of Eternal Peace? I think it's a nice touch. Invulnerable. Life is a going forth. Death is a returning home. Out of 10 people, 3 are seeking life. 3 are seeking death. 3 are dying. Only 1 is immortal. The wise, when they travel, are never attacked by wild beasts. But are sometimes passing gas from them. The wise, when they travel, are never attacked by wild beasts. And when coming among soldiers, they do not fear for their lives. The rhinoceros cannot find a place to horn them, nor the tiger a place to claw them, nor soldiers a place to wound them. Why? Because the wise are invulnerable. How is that so, Neil? I hear you asking. Let's see what Dwight, what light he can shed on the idea of death. In the cycle of life, death is inevitable. This can be dealt with in different ways. 3 men in 10 are students of death. 3 men in 10 are students of life. 3 men in 10 are so preoccupied with survival that they only end up accelerating their decay. Yet the 1 in 10 who is truly adept at living long does not fear wild animals in the woods, nor soldiers on the battlefield. Horns and claws do not rend his flesh, and swords do not pierce his heart. Why is this? Because he is a student of both life and death equally. Does the dude shed any more clarification on that, Brother Neil? Well, let's find out. Death comes upon Donnie as the dude comes upon Maud. A lifetime of achievement can occur in 3 ways. 3 in 10 men are idealists. 3 in 10 men are nihilists. And 3 in 10 men are materialists, men who will not name their size. They care more about wall hangings than floor coverings. Yet the 1 in 10 who truly knows how to abide does not fear marmots in his tub, nor nihilists in the parking lot. Marmots and morons do not cut off his Johnson, nor do samurai swords cut it as Kowichin. Why is this? Because he knows how to get out of these things cheap. As for compensation, there's little he would ask. I hear you asking, what's a Kowichin? Well, a Kowichin is the type of sweater the dude wears in the movie. It's a Pendleton Kowichin, named after the Native American tribe that knits a similar traditional pattern. So what's all of that got to do with me, you're asking? And Brother Neil, being a priest, has to try to answer that question. So here goes. One of the main reasons religions even exist is because human beings are all generally dismayed by the fact that they one day will die. Whereas most other religions have come up with afterlife scenarios to help assuage this anxiety, Taoism adopts no such recourse. Instead, it invites us to accept death as a natural part of the life cycle, and so asks us to train ourselves not to recoil from oblivion. According to this passage in the Tao Te Ching, there are 4 ways in which one might deal with the problem of death, even if one considers it to be a problem. 1 is the student of life. One can lead their life recklessly, not considering death at all, and so impelling it to arrive prematurely. And there's a lot of that going on today. 2 is the student of death. Alternatively, one can lead their life warily, delaying death as long as possible, yet ultimately sacrificing life, i.e. its quality and richness, in the aim to postpone its end. There's the third way, which is the student of neither. Sadly, people can also lead their lives with such fear and paranoia that they render themselves physically, socially, and mentally crippled. Due to the resulting ill health, this type of student invites death even more rapidly than the aforementioned student of death. But the student of both life and death is the 4th way, practiced by only 1 in 10 people, and it respects the balance of Tao, and thus is recommended by Lao Tzu. Just as the previous chapter's adept navigator of life's river knows when to employ focus or field awareness, so too must the student of life know when to act as a student of life and when to act as a student of death. In this way, the pupil can selectively employ the wisdom, attitude, and judgment that benefits each sphere of influence. When the dude is faced with the loss of $1 million and the ire of his employer, his response is, "Can't be worried about that shit. Life goes on." Here he is, the student of life, brave and unconcerned with the unnecessary. Then when things start to get heavy and his life is actually threatened by the Big Lebowski and the nihilists, the dude switches his ceremonial robe and becomes a student of death, careful to go on the defensive and navigate his way out of the quagmire. Up. Though he may seem deeply casual most of the time, that's only because in reality, life doesn't require as much focus as we presume it does. And actually, it's that constant state of tension which often leads us to trouble and despair. The dude is not slothful, per se. Rather, he is efficient. When the stranger dubs him the laziest man in Los Angeles County, which puts him high in the running for laziest man in the world, it's only because so many of us are students of death and consequently too often anxious and alarmed. Instead, we should all try to be more like the dude, relaxed and limber-minded most of the day, yet suitably quick to act when death, or dipshits, come knocking at the door. Incidentally, this door belongs to Kelso Fernandez Garney, who died in 2018 at the ripe old age of 28. It says, "Rest in paradise, our beloved son, brother, and father. You fought like a soldier and will never be forgotten." December 22nd, 2018. Northtown's finest. I'm proud to share his tombstone. Instead of being alarmed or anxious by death, we should all try to be more like the dude, relaxed and limber-minded most of the day. This is worth repeating. Yet suitably quick to act when death or dipshits come a-knocking down the door. The dude may not remember much from college, but he is clearly a tenured scholar of survival. That he is. Well, thank you for joining me again. I bid you peace and much better health than Kelso.